Hello. Hi, my free and powerful friends. It is Tuesday, October 8th, which means we've had a full 7 days. We're on our eighth day. We've had a full week under our belt of sober Octobering, if we can put it as a verb. And today's session is probably one of the biggest, most complex ideas and foundational principles of Magnify, but I think also of like being a human. And I wanted to bring this to you today so that we had some time to build up to this with our previous live streams, but also time for you to have those 7 days going into our eighth day without the activity of drinking to become more self-aware. So as you've been sitting out of drinking, I'm sure you have been sitting in your mind with your thoughts and becoming really self-aware. At least I hope you have had some aha moments, had some moments of clarity where you realize, hey, my life has been turning out this way because of my belief systems here and here and here. And I really hope you've been able to have those experiences. But if you haven't, let's chat. Let's get you built up for the rest of Sober October, especially the rest of this week, so that you can have those wins, stack them up, feel confident, feel self-empowered, and feel like you are actually following through on your personal promises. I think this all goes down to our thought processes. Also, as I'm seeing some people come into the live stream, remember there is the chat box. I would love to hear questions, strategy requests. If you have a specific topic or a specific thing you're going through that you've experienced in our 7 to 8 days of sober Octobering, please drop it in the chat. Hey, Jesse, thank you. But today I want to talk about this concept that kind of molds theology, religion, with philosophy. This is something that all historical leaders have said throughout history, no matter their background. I've talked about this last week, but now we're really going to dive in deep. And that truth, that philosophical truth about us as a human being, is that we become what we think about all day long. And I believe a lot of people can hear this and they can kind of understand this on a conscious level and then argue with it and be like, well, today I thought about a car all day long. I don't become a car, do I? And of course, that's not what the philosophy is saying. The philosophy is saying that you become who you think you are and who you think about yourself being all day long. So, for example, I struggled with alcohol for almost 16 years. I'm 33, so that's basically 50% of my life. I struggled with addictive behavior. You can look through Unsoberly Sober show, you can listen to my podcast, you can hear all of the debauchery that was my life for almost 16 years. And I was always questioning, why do I have this problem? I'm addicted. It must be the genetics. It must be my alcoholic mom's genes being infused in my body. And I'm just broken and I'm damaged. And I just love drinking. What else is there to do? These were the primary thoughts that I had in my life. And so, with that thought energy, doesn't it seem obvious that that's what I was attracting into my life? I was constantly thinking about alcohol, thinking about the problems with alcohol, but then also thinking about how much fun I had with alcohol, thinking about how every single thing that I got involved in would be better with alcohol. And anything that I thought that didn't involve alcohol would be totally lame. All of that came to reality. All of that came to fruition. And that's the power of our thoughts. This is something that I work most heavily on with clients. And what we find is that it actually has nothing to do with our genetics. It has nothing to do with necessarily our friend group, but it has to do with how we think about ourselves and what we perceive as being fun, worthwhile, what we perceive our future to look like, how we perceive our past, and all of these thoughts together will formulate our reality. Albert Einstein said, match the frequency of the reality you want, and you cannot help but get that reality. This is physics. This is not philosophy. And that's what he said. Match the frequency of the reality you want. Most of us are matching the frequency of the reality we don't want. We are thinking all the time about what we do not want. We are thinking all of the time about our lack, our limitation, our inability to handle stress, our inability to reach that goal. Oh, everybody else can do it, but not me. Not little old me. The universe grants all of the success to everybody else, but not me. And that is just false. But your belief in that, your not me belief, is what manifests that. And you become that unworthy person. You become that undeserving person because you're thinking about yourself in that way all day long. I would say that when I first started learning this, I realized that I wasn't really actually thinking a whole lot. I wasn't marshaling my energy to a productive, constructive place, but I was actually just mentally reacting to everything outside of me. And that reaction was 100% rooted in alcohol. If somebody was drinking orange juice at a morning brunch, how lame are they? They must be boring. They don't even have alcohol in their orange juice. If somebody was going for a hike and they didn't have alcohol with them, oh, how boring would hiking be without alcohol? If people were succeeding in work and they were really getting after their goals and they were really getting the promotion, getting the pay raise, getting the big sale, I would say, man, but like, aren't they bored outside of that? Because they're not even drinking. They're not even having fun. And these were my mental reactions. I wasn't actually originating thought for myself, which is such an important aspect of sobriety or alcohol freedom, is the ability to originate thought that's going to get you to a goal, that's going to get you to the next level, that's going to get you, I hate to say this, but get you through the day without alcohol. In the beginning, it will feel like that. Eventually, when you learn to marshal your thought energy and understand that you are a channeler of that energy, and that we can not just react to things, but we can respond and filter that information through our brain and have different interpretations and perceptions. When we start to understand our power of thought, then you're not just going to be getting through the day without alcohol. You're going to be infusing your day with positivity to the point where you get to the end of the day and you're like, alcohol who? What? That doesn't even fit. That doesn't fit my vibe. That doesn't fit my frequency. I don't need that. I don't want that in my life. When people go from drinking heavily to happy sobriety, alcohol freedom, even true successful moderation, they're not thinking about alcohol anymore. They're not twiddling their thumbs saying, oh, I can't drink today. I have to make it through the day. Their life is so full because they've learned to harness their thought energy, their imagination, their perception. Here's something that if you don't take anything else away from this training today, from this live stream, take this with you. Your thoughts become things, right? And what you think about all day long, how you think all day long, will become your reality. So picture this. You are at work and your boss tells you, hey, this report you just turned in, it was pretty good. It was all right. But hey, you need to work on A, B, and C and then get it back to me. That's the objective circumstance, right? If we believe that we are undeserving, if we believe that we are unworthy of success, if we believe that we have issues with alcohol and we can't get our shit straight, then all of these self-perceptions are going to really dictate our interpretation of the outside world. So that boss giving us some constructive feedback is going to feel very offensive. It's going to feel very degrading. We're going to feel like, oh, well, they must not like me. I must never be able to do things right. And these are the mental reactions that we have because of our belief systems. Let's say we go to a party and we're not drinking, and somebody in the party comes up to us is like, hey, why aren't you drinking? This has literally never happened to me, but maybe they even say, you look bored without drinking. If you believe that to be true, and if you're thinking in your mind, it must be boring to not drink, it must be a boring lifestyle, people who don't drink must be boring, then when that person says that to you, it's going to hurt, it's going to sting, right? So we do not react to what's happening. We react to our perception of what's happening and what beliefs that happening just triggered within us. So we can control our emotions and control our reality if we control our beliefs and our thoughts. And what I want you to do, if you have not done this already, is start a thought audit. I shared the Sober Curious Bootcamp link last week, but I'm going to do this in the chat real quick, and then I'll put this also on the YouTube channel page. But I want to encourage everybody out there to do this thought audit. I believe it's page 13 and 14. Get this handbook. Page 13 and 14 include thought audit information. So what this means is you start to track your thoughts. You start to track your beliefs and your interpretations. If your boss comes up to you and gives you constructive criticism, constructive feedback, and your immediate thought reaction is, I'm a piece of shit, I can never get this right, he really has it out for me, write that down. Start to become aware of that. You're probably going to see patterns where this arises often, where you believe people think that you are lesser than them. You believe that you are lesser than them, so you think they're thinking the same. So there's all of these ways that our mind will trick us into believing, no, this is cold hard fact, what's happening in your reality, when it's really based off of our interpretation. If we believe that not drinking is boring, other people coming up to us will tell us that we are boring, and we will agree with them, and that will be very painful. If we believe that the only way to have fun is to drink alcohol, then we're not going to have any fun without alcohol. If we are thinking all day long and relating every little thing to booze, then without booze, we're going to feel like we have a giant hole, a void in our soul, because we're communicating all the time that our soul is only complete with alcohol. Did you know that you are not just your body? That's actually the smallest aspect of you as a human being. You are your thoughts and your spirit and your soul, your energy. You are that primarily. And how you shape and channel that energy through thought is how your body will feel and move and live and do and behave. And so the trick is not to say, I'm never drinking again, I don't want to drink, or I'm not drinking this month. The trick is, what will I think about and do instead? Well, one of the best tactics, anytime you're thinking about alcohol, oh, it's boring not to drink, I'm not going to be any fun, oh, I'm missing out on fun with my friends this weekend. Anytime you have that kind of thought, back it up with a goal thought of your own. Maybe it's something small like, I want to get better at push-ups. Every time I think about alcohol, I'm going to train my mind that I'm going to get down and I'm going to do 5 push-ups. That's going to start connecting your mind that you do not act on every single whim of a thought. You do not entertain thoughts of alcohol anymore because you're just letting those go. You become what you think about all day long. So start to be aware. Do I want this thought to become a thing in my life? Do I want to become this thing that I'm thinking about? If every time you think about alcohol, you say, I'm going to go get 1,000 steps outside, guess how you're starting to shape your thoughts? Instead of an alcohol consciousness, you're gaining a health consciousness. So you're thinking in terms of health. How many steps do I have today? Well, if you're always thinking about getting steps, guess what? Your brain is going to be motivated and find ways to get steps. Guess what? If you're always thinking about alcohol, your brain is going to be motivated and always find a way to have alcohol. If you're always thinking in terms of high protein, getting my meals, well, you're going to start to become enticed. High protein meals. Maybe you're going to start seeing more recipes pop up on your feed. Maybe you're going to start seeing more healthy, nutritious foods at the grocery store because now your mind, you're starting to think more about protein. You're starting to think more about health. Maybe you start to think about professional goals. In every instance that you think about alcohol, you say, nope, I'm going to bump that right out of my mind, right out of my conscious awareness. And I'm going to think about what my next little progression in my work life could be. Guess what? You think about your progression in your work life as much as you used to think about alcohol, and you're going to manifest that progression in your work life. We become what we think about all day long. This is actually why Magnify is called Magnify Progressive Wellness. Think about your mind, your thoughts, your thought energy as a magnifying glass, and you're hovering over the themes that you want to expand in your life just by placing focus on it. So become aware. How many times do I think about alcohol? How often am I ruminating or dwelling over alcohol thoughts? Well, it makes sense that that's what I'm attracting into my life, that behavior, those circumstances. All I get are invites to go drinking. That's probably not true, but that's what your mind is attracted to. You're probably getting invites for professional mixers that don't have anything to do with alcohol. You're probably getting invites to baby showers, but you're not in harmony with those because they don't include alcohol. If you start to place that magnifying glass and hover it over the things that you do want in your life, and you're very intentional with your thought energy, then you're putting a spotlight over what you want to expand. What we give energy to grows. So this is my invite to you. Last week I said, let's get some goals outside of sobriety, outside of just, I'm not drinking. My goal is to not drink this month. Well, what else are you going to do this month? Are you going to get 8 to 10,000 steps every day? Are you going to try a new group fitness class? Are you going to go hiking? Are you going to try rollerblading, roller skating, bicycling? Are you going to try bowling, rock climbing? All of these things, sewing, crafting, like cooking, all of these things are things that you can do. And you're probably going to enjoy a lot if you go in with an open mind and you think about them in positive ways. You're going to then be able to recruit a positive experience. So understand that your mind, your focus is what causes things to expand in your life. And if you're always focused on don't drink, you're giving attention to that. The universe doesn't comprehend don't do something or do something. I want this versus I don't want this. It just understands that you're giving it thought energy, you're giving it attention, and it says, okay, you're in harmony with that. I'm going to bring you all of the things that are like that thing. And so start to question, what do I want my future to look like? What do I want my life to look like? Not just at the end of October, not just November, but like long term. What do I want it to look like? What types of themes do I want included in my day-to-day life? And how can I focus on those now? Remember, it's all up to you in your mind, in your stream of consciousness, with your magnifying glass, with your ability to focus. Become very aware. Use that Sober Curious handbook and the thought audit worksheet, print it off several times, and just start doing that audit. Start to notice all of those negative beliefs, those negative thoughts, how often you're relating things to alcohol. And then on that right side of the sheet, so that's the left column of that thought audit, on the right side, you take that statement and you turn it into the polar opposite. So if you're finding this thought being, nothing's fun without alcohol, I can't wait to drink again. And you're like, wait, that's not what I want to attract into my reality. That's not what I want for my life. Then maybe you say on the right side as the polar opposite statement, as something that you will counter that thought narrative with in your mind. Every time you think alcohol is the only fun thing that I'm interested in, your next thought is, nope, that's not true. Actually, and this is what you're going to write on the right side for that, I live a full and fulfilling life full of fun without alcohol. Or I would even say, minus the alcohol from the statement entirely, so that you're not relating it. And you just say, no, that's not true. I have a full, fun life where I'm energized to take part in it every day. And that thought over time, it's going to feel icky. It's going to feel like it doesn't really stick to you at first. But drinking didn't stick to you at first either. You practice that over and over again. So practice this statement so that you can actually start to call new things into your reality. Jesse, yes, doing a lot of push-ups, that is amazing. You're not only going to be building that muscle, building that discipline, but you're also building that identity and that self-image as somebody who is healthy, driven, ambitious, somebody that gets to their goals when they place them, and somebody that doesn't sit around thinking about alcohol all the time. So it's really hard to think about alcohol when you're doing push-ups. I will say that. All right, guys. So that is all for today. We're going to have another live stream tomorrow. I'm actually on my way to record 2 more episodes for the Unsoberly Sober Show. That is my podcast. If you have not already listened to it, I invite you. That is accessible on the Magnify Maggie YouTube channel or Apple, Spotify, wherever you get your podcast. The Unsoberly Sober Show. I'm going to go record episodes 35 and 36 today. Again, we'll be back tomorrow. If you have a specific topic or theme, please let me know. Leave a comment. Send a DM on Instagram at Magnify Maggie. Let me know. Hey, I've been watching the live streams. I'd really love for you to cover X, Y, and Z. I nerd out over getting really specific with one person's life, because I feel like if one person is experiencing it, there's lots of other people experiencing it. So please don't be shy. Let me know if there's a specific Sober October topic that you would like to get into. I'm thinking tomorrow will be around sober socializing, because I know that's a biggie. We might even have some sober dating topics here coming up. If we feel like, hey, that's what we need, let me know. I'm here for you. Reach out on Instagram at Magnify Maggie. Go to magnifypw.com if you want more amazing ebooks, resources like that Sober Curious Handbook I just dropped. I've got health macro guides, meal prep guides, habits for happiness ebook, all of these things in there. So please take a look, take a gander, keep it up, subscribe, turn your notifications on, reach out. Anyway, okay, that's all for today. Happy Tuesday. Go get it. Pay attention to your thoughts, because your thoughts are what dictates your feelings, your literal vibration, how you're vibing. Your thoughts dictate your feelings dictate your behavior dictates what you attract into your life through your results. So it's this beautiful cycle, and it can be a very prosperous, healthy cycle, or it can be the doomsday cycle. You get to choose. That's the power of your mind. Think different in order to drink different, or never again. Think different to move different, eat different, live different, think different to think different. You know, it works. All right, all for now. I'll see you later. Have a good one, guys. Bye.